What is up, guys? Jeremy here, and welcome back to another video. So we're going to be taking a look at the GameSir G4 Pro controller. This is a really cool controller that does work on iPhone, iPad. It also works on Android devices as well, and it does work on the Nintendo Switch, which is really cool. And you can use it on your computer because it does have a USB connector that it connects to via Bluetooth, and it's just a really cool controller. Now, you guys know me, I never pass up the opportunity to check out a controller that I can use to play games on my iPhone, so this is definitely one that I wanted to take a look at. So let's go ahead and let's jump into this. So first off, we're going to take a look at the design of it. The overall design I think is really cool looking. I actually prefer this over a PlayStation controller or an Xbox controller. Dare I say it, I would rather use this controller with my Xbox than my actual Xbox controller. And that's saying a lot because I have been gaming on the Xbox for many years, and I'm very used to the Xbox controller. And there's just something about this controller that I like more than the Xbox One controller. We'll just do a run around of the controller here. So as far as all the buttons go, if you take a look at the triggers here, they're very smooth. I would say the Xbox can be a little bit better there as far as triggers go. The triggers are a little bit smoother on the Xbox controller, but the triggers on the GameSir are perfectly fine and work perfectly fine. Going up to the bumpers here, the bumper, the R1 and the L1, I like these a lot. The clickiness of them is pretty amazing. I'm gonna put it up to my microphone and hopefully you guys can pick up on the sound of how they click, but the clicking on these bumpers is very satisfying. And I don't know why I like the bumpers so much. I'm gonna, just for comparison, bring over my Xbox One controller and click the bumper on that, and hopefully you guys can tell the difference. So as you can see there is a bit of a difference with the bumpers, and I just absolutely love the way the GameSir bumpers feel. Very nice. Moving along to the thumbsticks or the analog sticks here, they have a really nice feel as well. They're very smooth. They're not as rough as the Xbox thumbsticks. Now I'm going to be comparing this right against the Xbox controller a lot, just because the design of it is very similar to the Xbox controller. I do have the PlayStation controller as well, but I don't want to compare it against that just because the overall design is much different. And I just personally, and I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for this, I think the Xbox controller is better than the PlayStation controller, but that's why I'm comparing it to the Xbox controller. But anyways, moving along to the X, Y, B, A buttons here, they click perfectly fine. They click very similar to an Xbox controller, so if you're used to the way the Xbox clicks, basically the same thing. Going on to the D-pad now, it's a little mushy. It's definitely not anywhere near as clicky as like an Xbox controller, but it's totally usable. It's not gonna, prohibit you from being able to use it. It's just a tiny bit mushy. Now keep in mind, I'm very in tune with my controllers and how I like them to feel. And to me, this is just a little mushy, but again, it's not something that would hinder me from buying the controller. Now moving on to the grips here, this is probably one of my favorite parts, aside from the bumpers with this controller, is the side grips here. They're like a rubber material with a texture, and the texture is absolutely satisfying to feel in your hands while you're playing games. It just feels so much better than a smooth plastic on the side. Now I've been gaming with this controller, I would say, for about 2 weeks now. And I don't notice any issues with it. There's not really any like smudging because of finger grease or anything like that. Nothing is peeling off. It is very strong and sturdy. It just feels really good. I can't explain how this feels. You just got to get one and then you'll know what I'm talking about. But the overall design of this controller is just really nice. It's a little bit smaller than the Xbox controller. Just a tiny bit, and for me that complements my hands. I just think that the GameSir fits in my hands a little bit better. Now moving along on the controller, you have this piece here that flips up, and this is what's going to hold your phone in place. Either your Android or your iOS device will hold it there. And for comparison, I do have the 12 Pro Max right here, for a size comparison so you guys get an idea of how big of a phone it can fit. If I slide my 12 Pro Max in there, as you can see, I still have at least a half an inch, if not 3/4 of an inch of a gap. So I could get even, an even bigger phone into this controller. So I think that this will work for just about any type of smartphone, no problem, which is really, really nice. But that's another thing that I like about this controller is it does have the smartphone holder built into it. So that's one thing with my Xbox controllers. I bought this like $7 piece from Amazon, and it's really cheap, like in comparison to the holder on the GameSir, this like smartphone holder thing. It's just it doesn't feel high quality. I mean, it is only $7, so that is to be expected, but that's what I'm used to for my Xbox controller. So this definitely feels like an upgrade with the smartphone holder. Now you do have some more buttons here. You have your start select button and then a couple other buttons here, your home button there. Now, depending on which device you are going to use this controller with, it explains it on the back, and it's kind of hard to see here. And if you can read it there, it says A plus home equals pairing for Android, X plus home equals pairing for X input, and then B plus home is to pair with iOS, and then the Y plus home is to connect to the Switch. So it tells you right on the back what button combos you need to push to pair with certain devices. So I like that it's right on the controller because that's something I would easily forget. Now, if you guys are going to use this like for your computer, when you open up the smartphone holder here, at the very bottom is where you're going to find that little Bluetooth connector for your computer. Really nice touch that this actually plugs right into the controller, because this is something that I could very easily lose and then I can't connect it to my computer. So big props to GameSir for making this so it attaches right into the controller itself. That way you do not lose it, and I think it's really slick. You don't even notice it's there unless you're really digging into the controller trying to figure out how it works. So yeah, it just literally just slides out from the bottom. Ease of use. You don't got to worry about losing it, nothing like that. So all in all, I think that this controller is 100% worth your money. It is available on Amazon. I want to say it's right around like $50 or so. So it's about the same price as an Xbox One or a PS4 controller. And that is without the connector. I think if you were to get the Xbox One controller with this connector, you're at like over $60. And to me, there is more value in this GameSir controller than the Xbox One. I think that the overall design is better. I would personally choose the GameSir over an Xbox One controller. That feels very weird to say. I've never said that. I've never had a controller that I liked more than an Xbox One controller. Even when I had the scuff versions, I loved those. It just feels better, and that's my opinion. So if you guys are interested in the GameSir, I will leave the link for it down in the description if you guys want to check it out. Like I said, it's around like $50 or so, and I can almost guarantee you guys will not be disappointed with this controller, especially if you're getting it to play games, like Cyberpunk or Call of Duty Mobile, or any of those high intensity first person shooter games. This is going to suit your needs. I would say much better than a controller like the Backbone one here that I did a review on a couple of weeks ago. I would say this is better for like arcade style games, not first person shooters. If you're looking for a controller for first person shooters, this is where it's at. This controller is awesome. Again, like I said, the links are down in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed this review of the GameSir G4 Pro. If you did, definitely throw me a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot here at the channel. And if you guys want to see more videos like this in the future, don't forget to click that subscribe button. This has been Jeremy, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Later.